The most dangerous financial trap of the modern era is disguised as physical self-improvement. Society has engineered a massive, highly profitable illusion that equates excessive physical size with supreme discipline, health, and success. You are constantly bombarded with images of hypermuscular influencers and fitness icons, selling you the idea that lifting heavy weights and building a massive physique is the ultimate metric of human optimization. But if you observe the absolute highest tier of human performance, the top 1% of self-made billionaires, elite investors, and leading tech executives, you will notice a glaring anomaly. Almost none of them look like professional bodybuilders. The global elite have access to infinite financial resources, the best private chefs, and the most advanced personal trainers on the planet, yet they intentionally choose to remain lean, agile, and physically unassuming. This is not an accident, and it is certainly not a lack of discipline. The 1% understand a highly classified biological law that the commercial fitness industry desperately wants to keep hidden from you. Carrying excessive physical mass is a massive, unrelenting cognitive tax. Building huge amounts of muscle does not make you a superior operator in the modern world. It mathematically guarantees that you will drain your most valuable asset, your finite cognitive energy, just to sustain useless physical tissue. If you close this video and continue to follow the traditional fitness roadmap, you will spend the most critical wealth-building years of your life feeding a metabolic parasite that actively slows your brain. But if you stay, I will reveal the clinical architecture of elite biological performance. I will show you why the wealthy refuse to get huge, and the exact metabolic frameworks they use to retain absolute intellectual dominance. Why millionaires refuse to get huge. To understand why building massive muscle is essentially a poor man's trap, you must fundamentally separate the concept of signaling from the concept of leverage. In the modern economy, the middle class is completely starved of true equity and financial power. Because they lack control over their time and lack ownership of scalable assets, they subconsciously seek alternative ways to signal their value and dominance to society. The gym becomes the ultimate arena for this psychological compensation. By building massive biceps and a broad chest, the average worker can project an aura of power, discipline, and status. It is a biological flex designed to mask a lack of financial leverage, but the elite operate on a completely different psychological plane. A billionaire does not need to walk into a room with 18-inch arms to command respect because their leverage is not physical, it is structural and financial. They own code, media, algorithms, and capital. They understand that in a hyper-competitive, knowledge-based economy, your brain is your sole weapon of survival. For the top 1%, the physical body is viewed purely as a support vehicle for the central nervous system. Its only biological purpose is to deliver highly oxygenated blood and clean nutrients to the prefrontal cortex with maximum efficiency. When you understand this, the idea of intentionally gaining 30 or 40 pounds of unnecessary muscle mass seems completely absurd. It is the biological equivalent of attaching a heavy, rusting iron anchor to a high-performance Formula One car. The elite refuse to get huge because they refuse to compromise the speed, clarity, and endurance of their cognitive machinery just to impress strangers in a zero-sum physical status game. The biological tax of heavy muscle. The exact mechanism of this cognitive sabotage is hidden deep within the laws of human metabolism. In his clinical analysis of longevity and performance, Dr. Peter Attia outlines the stark differences between Medicine 2.0 and Medicine 3.0. The human biological machine operates on a strict budget of cellular energy known as adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. Your mitochondria can only produce a finite amount of ATP in a single day. Muscle tissue is incredibly expensive biological real estate. Every extra pound of muscle you force your body to build and carry requires a permanent, non-negotiable supply of this finite ATP just to prevent the tissue from dying. By forcing yourself into a caloric surplus and lifting heavy weights, you are permanently activating the mTOR growth pathway. You are telling your body to constantly build and expand, but because the body relies on homeostasis, keeping the mTOR pathway permanently switched on forces the body to shut down its direct opposite, autophagy. Autophagy is the cellular recycling process where your biology cleans out senescent zombie cells, repairs damaged DNA, and reverses the aging process. The fitness industry ignores this terrifying biological trade-off. You cannot be in a state of extreme physical growth and a state of deep cellular repair at the same time. By carrying massive amounts of muscle, you are sacrificing your cellular longevity. More importantly, you are introducing a massive metabolic tax to your daily life. Your heart must pump harder, your blood pressure rises, and your basal metabolic rate runs artificially high to feed the miles of new vascular networks required by the hypertrophied tissue. You are burning your finite daily energy reserves simply existing, leaving almost nothing left for deep, complex adaptation. How physical mass slows the brain. This metabolic tax inevitably wreaks havoc on your central nervous system. The human brain accounts for roughly 2% of your total body weight, yet it demands a staggering 20% of your daily oxygen, glucose, and ATP supply. It is an incredibly greedy, energy-demanding organ. When you artificially inflate your physical frame with 50 extra pounds of muscle, you are fundamentally altering the resource allocation of your biology. The body is forced to divert critical blood flow and oxygen away from the prefrontal cortex and redirect it toward your skeletal muscle. You are literally stealing premium fuel from your brain to keep your biceps inflated. This chronic diversion of finite biological resources results in a permanent drop in fluid intelligence. Fluid intelligence is the cognitive ability to solve novel problems, process overwhelming amounts of complex data, and maintain unbreakable focus under extreme stress. It is the exact neurological currency required to build wealth and dominate markets. When your neural networks are starved of oxygen and glucose because your muscles are demanding it, you experience chronic brain fog, sluggish decision-making, and a complete inability to engage in deep work for extended periods. This is why you feel mentally exhausted after a massive bodybuilding workout. Your nervous system is drained. The elite are hyper-aware of this biological compromise. They know that a heavy body equals a slow mind. They engineer their physical vessels to be as light, aerodynamic, and metabolically efficient as possible, so that a massive surplus of oxygenated blood is constantly flooding their brain. They refuse to trade their fluid intelligence for a temporary cosmetic enhancement. The elite blueprint for cellular health. If being heavily muscled is so detrimental to cognitive output and cellular longevity, why is the modern worker so hopelessly addicted to it? The answer is rooted in the clinical psychology of the dopamine system. In her book Dopamine Nation, psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lemke explains how the modern world has weaponized our biological reward circuitry. The human brain seeks to balance pleasure and pain on a neurological seesaw. Because the modern environment is filled with existential anxiety and a profound lack of true purpose, individuals desperately seek out low-friction, high-dopamine activities to numb their reality. The commercial fitness industry provides the perfect artificial high. Going to the gym, getting a massive pump, and watching your muscles swell in the mirror delivers a highly concentrated, unnatural spike of dopamine. It provides the illusion of elite progress and forward momentum. The gym bro feels productive, disciplined, and superior, but this is a psychological masquerade. They are overstimulating their dopamine receptors with physical exhaustion to avoid facing the agonizing, high-friction pain of doing actual deep work. Writing code, building financial systems, and studying market dynamics is boring. It lacks the immediate visceral feedback of a heavy deadlift. By continually choosing the easy dopamine hit of the gym, the individual destroys their capacity to endure the slow, methodical boredom required to build true generational wealth. They trade the pursuit of absolute financial sovereignty for the cheap, immediate validation of physical aesthetics. The elite do not fall into this dopamine trap. They protect their dopamine baseline ruthlessly, ensuring that their highest pleasure comes strictly from solving complex, high-leverage intellectual problems. Reprogramming your metabolic reality. The path to true biological and financial sovereignty requires a complete rejection of the commercial fitness narrative. You must fundamentally reprogram your metabolic reality to align with the principles of Medicine 3.0. The goal is no longer to be the largest, heaviest physical specimen in the room. The goal is to build an unbreakable, highly efficient biological engine that serves your mind. To achieve this, the elite focus almost entirely on the preservation and multiplication of mitochondrial density. Instead of destroying their nervous system with extreme hypertrophy training, top cognitive performers prioritize Zone 2 cardiovascular work. By training for extended periods at a specific, low-intensity heart rate, you force your body to build vast networks of new mitochondria without adding a single ounce of useless muscle mass. You drastically increase your ability to generate clean ATP through fat oxidation. Because you are keeping your physical mass incredibly low, this massive surplus of newly generated ATP is channeled directly into your prefrontal cortex. Your brain lights up, your fluid intelligence skyrockets. Your ability to sustain deep focus becomes absolute because your neural pathways are never starved of oxygen. Furthermore, by refusing to chase extreme protein intakes and caloric surpluses, you keep the mTOR pathway quiet. Autophagy is allowed to run uninterrupted, cleaning out toxic zombie cells and constantly renewing your biological clock. You become light, you become fast, and your mind becomes a lethal instrument of execution. You stop treating your body like an aesthetic billboard and start treating it like the high-performance vehicle it was meant to be. The system wants you heavy, slow, and addicted to the illusion of progress. It is time to drop the dead weight. Starve your physical ego, maximize your mitochondrial efficiency, and build permissionless leverage. Hit the subscribe button to join the minority building true sovereignty. But before you go, the debate is open. Be brutally honest. Are you optimizing your biology for unbreakable mental focus, or are you secretly draining your cognitive energy to carry useless physical mass? Defend your reality in the comments below. Let's see who actually understands the math of survival. Master your mind, build your system. See you in the next protocol.